Hi guys, it's Debbie with Debbie J's Crafting Corner. Got another fun card for you today. This time we're going to be making a floral card out of some die cuts, and I think this is just so adorable. For this card, I'm going to be using the Rain Boot Bouquet, which is the February die of the month. We've got pretty flowers. It's daffodils again with all their greenery, and we've got this little rubber boot that's going to act as our planter. So I'm going to go ahead and get busy getting some die cutting done, and then we're going to get this all assembled. So I'm going to start off with the little boot. We've got a boot piece, and then we've got the basically the top and the sole of the shoe. So I'm going to go ahead and add those other pieces on. I cut the main part out of this fun polka dot pattern because you know what, rubber boots, they come in all colors and all patterns, so I thought this would be fun. And then I'm just putting the sole is going to be in this dark blue that matches. And then we'll put the dark blue up at the top too to tie it together. And then our boot's done. That is all that it takes for this little guy. Now there are some other pieces that are basically cut out, so I'm going to add some darker colored pattern paper or cardstock behind that just to give us some color behind those little grooves. And this is actually a pretty good use for your scraps. I'm just using some extra that would have been going in the trash to cover up those little grooves, and then I think that looks perfect. Next, I'm putting together some little flowers. The die cuts out 3, so I just cut it out twice, once in pink and once in white. And I'm just adding a contrasting, or a little bit darker rather, color of pink for my pink flowers. And then I'm just adding an orange or a dark yellow that I'm using for the daffodils too. I'm using that for my white flowers for the centers. Next, I'm going to put together a couple of tulips. Yes, I didn't realize that there were different kinds of flowers in here. I think that's fantastic. I cut these out twice as well because I wanted a contrasting color for the inside bit of our flower. So I'm going to do this one is going to be light pink with a dark pink center, and then I've got dark pink with a light pink center. Next, we'll put together our 2 daffodils. There's 2 different shapes. So we use the smaller flower, the big petals part, with this, I don't even know what the thing is called, but this piece that makes it a daffodil, that piece that comes up. And we use the flatter pieces for our other one. So first off, I'm going to just basically building them from the out in because I feel that that's making it a little bit easier to adhere everything down in place and move it around. I'm just using a pickup tool. This is from Sutton Horton's Ultimate 2 that I've got, but it's basically one of the ones with a wax tip on the end, so I would say use what kind you've got. So this one comes with the petals. This piece that I don't know what it's called, the top of that where the petals are kind of coming out, and then the center. So I'm going to put the center in first, so I'm building from the top down. And now we've basically got everything assembled. All we need to do now is to put it all together on our card. We've also got a bunch of leaves and a stem that was cut out using this piece. So this is the problem when you have too many choices. I made a bunch of different panels using the embossing folder of the month. It's in another video. I'll leave a link to that here. And I love all of the fun panels, but I made a bunch of them because I couldn't stop. And now I'm trying to decide which one to use for my card today. And yeah, it is a bit of a stretch. So it's going to take me a couple of minutes, but here's some of the designs that I'm having to choose from because I want to use one of the ones with our fun, with the fun panels that I made using that embossing folder. So first I'm going to put down my little boot. Now I want to have a little bit of a rounded edge at the top, partially to make it so that it can pop in, but and to give it a little bit more dimension, make it look kind of cool. So what I'm doing is I'm basically bending it. Basically I'm shaping the paper a little bit. You can see that it is curved. And then I'm going to take a piece of foam tape and run right down the center. That's where I want the highest bit to be. And I think I'm going to do the same kind of thing with the sole of the boot as well. And I'm going to put a little piece of foam tape down the center there. I did trim this back vertically. I did trim it back so that it's a thinner piece. But now I can also glue those edges down. I'm going to have to use my tweezers to hold them in place for a little bit, but then I can hold it in place where I want it, and it has a little bit of a curved look. Before I do that part, I want to kind of get an idea of where I want my flowers. I've got one of the stem piece, and this one I can trim into multiples. I can use it for multiple flowers. Don't have to use it for just the one. And depending on where we put our other leaves, I may not even have to have it tucked into the boot. Okay, I'm going to attach one to the back of this daffodil. And let's do the same thing with our other daffodil. Actually, I think this one I may have kind of just hanging down a little bit further, so I want to put it on. I want to put the stem on the back of one of my tulips. I may need to cut some more, but haven't decided yet. Actually, I probably am going to have more than enough just with the one stem. So I've got these pretty much placed where I think they're going to look nice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some press and seal and place that over the top of all of my flowers so they're going to stay in place, and then I can start putting it back together. So yeah, I hope this is going to turn out the way I'm expecting. So next I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start adhering some of the pieces that are from the back down first, okay? And this is so that I can keep everything basically where I want it and I can see where everything is going to go. Okay, so I'm going to add first these top, or the lowest layer that is these leaves. Go ahead and add those down first. And I think I'm going to go ahead and add this one flower while I'm at it. And since I've also picked up the boot, I can use that kind of as an idea of to give me an idea of where I want the boot to go so that the flowers all fit right where they're supposed to. So I'm going to press that down, let it sit for a second so it has a chance to catch, and then I can start lifting up my press and seal and take off all the things that are not glued down. Okay, so those are the pieces that I glued down to begin with. Now this is lunar paste on top of my card. That's why it's so shiny. So it may take, because of that gloss, I think it's going to take a little bit more for the glue to adhere well. So I'm going to go ahead and just add a little more glue under different bits so that I can make sure that it adheres well. And then I can go on to the next layer. And if you're better at arranging flowers than I am, and you can remember where you have them to begin with, you don't really have to go through all of this just to get your your pieces down. You could go in and put them down one at a time and be fine. I'm still learning when it comes to floral arranging and paper floral arranging, so I'm doing this to kind of help me keep the idea of what I saw before and hopefully make everything still look lovely. So I'm adding some glue to the next bits I want to put down. That's the other tulip and most of the other greenery. And then we're going to layer these on again as well. And the press and steel is a little bit sticky, so you may wind up having it catch on your fingers as you're trying to do this. Okay, so this one, let's see. Okay, that looks good. So press those down in place. And now all that we have left are the 2 daffodils and the boot. So this still looks like a hot mess, but it's gonna look lovely. Okay, so now I'm gonna do the boot. Let's take the foam tape release paper off of that. And we can add some adhesive to the daffodil on the end of the stem and to the edges of our boot. And at this point, I think I'm actually going to just go freehand and go ahead and just add it on there without the press and seal, because we really shouldn't have any problem with it now. Okay, I think everything's going to still stay right where I want it. Okay, so here is my boot. There we go, and I'm pressing along the edges because that's where my liquid glue is, so that it has that rounded look. See, it still has that roundedness. Okay, so now I can add my final two tulips. Got this one. There we go. And then we'll have this guy kind of hanging off in the front. And for this one, I'm going to put a little bit of foam on the back because we do have that raised dimension of our boot. Okay, there we go. I think I like it right about, that's overlapping the other one a little bit more than I like, I think. So let's move that down a little bit more. And maybe may mean that I need to have the foam in a different location. So I'm going to cover up some of the boot there. I think I like that better, and I'm going to add a little bit of glue behind a couple of the petals that are going to be laying flat, like this one over here on the boot. So I decided that I want to have these other petals actually lifted a little bit, so I cut some more pieces of that foam into some small pieces and took the release paper off of both sides, and now I can put that behind my petals so that they are lifted a little bit and I don't have to worry about them, getting saggy or anything like that. I think the biggest thing I'm always concerned about is that some of the lifted items, I don't really want them to rip off when they come out of the envelope or anything, so I like to have them adhered in some way. And foam tape is a great way to do that. That looks great, but we also still have our little flowers that we can just add in randomly to finish this off. Next, I'm going to add a sentiment from the Glimmer of the Month for this month. I just used this on some other cards, so I'll leave a link to that video here as well. And I'm going to add that down here at the bottom as our sentiment. And that is going to finish up this card. Aren't those flowers just so pretty? And didn't this card just turn out so nice? I do like that background, and it complements those flowers so nicely. Although I normally I would have gone more just the texture instead of all the color. But yeah, I'm experimenting and playing some more with a lot of the different things. Anyway, I challenge you to give this kind of card a try and share your photos with us over in my Discord and my Facebook groups. Both of the groups are totally free and have lots of encouraging crafters for you to share your projects with and to get more inspiration from. We would love to get to know you and see what the wonderful things that you will create. In the meantime, if you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe so you always know when I post a new video or live stream. If you'd like to see more videos where I'm using Spellbinders products, be sure to check out this playlist. You guys have a wonderful day, and I will see you soon. Bye, guys.